Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another one. Check out how cool I did this. So it's like the whole way around is literally ETBs, booster boxes. Of course, we have our giant tower of celebrations and other goodies back there. Fusion Strike, almost at that 6K point. Lost Origin cases, guys. I said it on this channel. They're now 3K. I did say to buy them at 2,200, so no one take that away from me. You take a lot of things away from me, but you can't take away my investment ideas. And, we're at a crazy point in this market where it's just kind of like either buy or die. Essentially, that's, wow, where we're at. I still think Lost Origin cases are a pickup, guys, at the 3K. I still think Chilling Reign cases are a good pickup at 3K. I think they'll pretty much follow the same trend as Fusion Strike, and shouldn't even be saying it on this channel because I know what'll happen. Same with, eventually probably Brilliant Stars will get there. But, even Celebrations, I still think Celebrations will just miraculously be kind of expensive just out of nowhere. That's why I really haven't sold any of my Celebrations positions. Because, if you look back at Generations and how expensive those packs are, I feel like eventually that'll happen to Celebrations either way. But I'm not going to advise you guys to invest in that. That's more of just if you could buy Celebrations back when it was dirt cheap to just do it. So it's kind of different now. But, now you're seeing Evolving Skies at 1,700 a booster box. I was saying it's on its way to 2K. To get in while you can. Nothing outperforms this stuff. And it sucks paying these higher prices, but it only gets worse. So eventually you have to bite the bullet. And it's getting later and later to bite that bullet. But, as much as I've said on this channel, about sealed going up and stuff, it's getting kind of crazy when the sealed is getting more expensive than the singles in the fucking boxes. That it's like a base set box being, 20,000. It's like, yeah, well, you're chasing a $10,000 card. But if we don't see these singles go up with the sealed, we could see it stall, at that 1,000 point, if the singles don't get appreciated. But anymore, it's just like, when you look at it, I mean, the people buying these Fusion Strike cases for 5,600, they're not buying them to rip, Like, it's hit that point now where people are locked in as these boxes are investments. These boxes aren't to rip at 5,600, they're because you love the product, and really believe in it long term. And that shows where the mindset of the community is at, where they're all slipping on the singles right now, that if you want any of these singles, it's probably the time to get them in PSA 10. I'm not advising to do it because I don't want to, hear anything from people. But, have you ever noticed that any YouTuber, they're all really afraid to give financial advice? It's more of just like a, go through things and babble for a while and, don't really give anyone advice, but make everybody kind of fight each other and get all emotional and, this whole like, I don't want to tell you what to do because, if you lose money, then it's on us. And I mean, it's really not on us. I mean, you make the decision yourself to do whatever you want to do. But, I'm just here to try to point you in the right direction, that if you are going to make these decisions, these are probably the best things to do. But, anyone that thought I was crazy saying Lost Origin was too cheap, you're seeing it now. It was too cheap. Same with Chilling Reign, all these other ones. So, just throwing it out there. Now, my next thing I want to get into is, I've been hearing a lot of women complain lately about, like men don't realize them and stuff and all this. And it's hilarious because I'm telling you, men, hold strong out there. Don't give in to temptation. Because, like, any men that have money, and that's usually who these women want, is men with money, they're all passing on them. Because we're all like, we're not taking that risk on your ass. I don't care. I don't care how hot you are. I'm not losing hundreds of thousands of dollars on your ass. Like, no. And it's funny because, like, the people that I do see chasing women still are generally just like the bums, that have nothing to lose. And I mean, hey, if I didn't have money and investments and things to lose, I would probably still be chasing women around too. But, you know, it's really not worth it. The amount of stuff you can accomplish without one is incredible. Like, it's incredible how bad they hold people back, most of them at least. And like there was a video of this chick like literally flexing her like hot ass body in the gym, and just all the men just walking past like, we're done. So I'm saying for all the men out there, hold strong. I know it's hard to turn these women down. We're all sexually driven creatures, and but I'm saying to hold strong. But for all the women out there, you may not like to hear this, but you've lost. You're cooked. The men that you want that are millionaires, they don't want you. And it's brilliant to see it. Men are done handing out the free, hey, I worked for 20 years, come and rob my shit. Like, men are done with this shit. I can definitely tell you that. Any successful men that I know, they're done. They're cooked. They're like, I'm not fucking with this. And hell no. I'm not getting set back. I'm on the grind, and that's why I can't stress enough on this channel. Your 20s and 30s are very important to not be chasing pussy, because it will leave you. And they don't care. They find the next person with money, they're on to the next one. Love only lasts as long as your fucking bank account does. So just be aware of that. Because it's nothing for a woman to stay with you for 8 years, use your resources, and just up and bounce. Like, it can happen to any of us at any level. And, yeah, most men have realized, like, I've worked 20 some years, I'm not the sap anymore. Because it used to just be like, if you were a hot chick, it was just like, you could just jangle your shit around, and you would have millionaire men that weren't really matured, and they would be like, hey, come on in, I need some companionship. And, then there you go. It was just like, there was a sucker everywhere. And those suckers are drying up, ladies. And you guys better realize, whatever man you're with is putting up with your shit now, you better fucking stick with them, because you're not going to get it anywhere else. You're not going to find anything better. I'm telling you, you're going to be stuck with the bums, because that's the only ones that are like still stupid enough to be like chasing after you guys. Anyone that has money is like, nope, not doing it. Already been there 100 times. We're good. We didn't slave 10, 20 years to have a woman come and take it all away. No, not happening. So, just a message out there to the men: stay strong, work on yourself. They'll come flocking when you have money. They all come back in and, think you'll hold the door open. Trust me, don't hold the door open for them. Let society just give them the hard realities that men had to get, because I would argue with any of you, if you were broke on the streets, these women would all walk past you. They would kick you by. They would laugh at you. If you didn't have any success, they would all walk past you. Yeah, they might shack up or something, but if you didn't have something they want, like a nice body or something you had to work for, like a nice body, you had to work for a nice body, you had to work for a nice car or nice money, either one, they would walk past you. If you let yourself go by eating Cheetos, sitting around sleeping, they'll pass you by. They wouldn't give a fuck about you. So just remember that whenever you hear the women crying, saying, please, please take me in, please. Don't fall for it. Please. I get it every day, them begging because they know they're cooked. Please take me in. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. No. Don't. They're cooked. Let them deal what we dealt with. that we couldn't just jump a branch. Like, no, we had to build ourselves up, you know. So let them keep fucking walking. Don't give them your success. Don't give them your time, because they'll drag you right down to the pits of hell again. So that's pretty much everything we have for this video. Like I said, focus on your grind. Focus on making good investments for your futures. And stay strong out there, folks. Don't cave into temptations. Once you look at it as like these hot chicks are just like a trophy that gets dangled in front of your face and you don't really give a fuck. Really everything, you know, gets dangled in front of your face. When you get to the point of just not giving a fuck, it's like, it's where you want to be. Anyway, that's everything we have for this video, guys. Like I said, keep hanging in there. You know, it's crazy though that like I make videos like of like destroying stuff on a quad, and it gets more views than like me actually having like meaningful conversations with people. Like it's mind-boggling to me. Like I have my, you know, loyal subscribers, and you guys have, you know, watch the content and love it, but you know, like as far as like, you can just post like a dog eating a pizza box and you'll get like more views than just like actually giving like financial advice that makes money. You know, it shows how distracted people are from the prize. It's a sad world. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're out.